And, uh, and every now and then, I want to, just have the saints of God to testify. So I brought a testimony today I want to share with you. This is from a few months ago when I was in Asia ministering, and just to let you know that I wasn't just on vacation, but that I was there on assignment from God doing the work of Jesus Christ. This is a testimony from a professional man who's an architect. He says here, he's Chinese, I can't pronounce his name. It says, I'm an architect by profession. Currently, I'm the resident architect at the particular financial center, and it's a $900 million project. And at the peak of the project, there were over 4,000 workers and supervisors. He said, about a year ago, I found out something that really made me very angry with the particular church that I was ministering in there in Asia. And he said, I felt that the church had wronged me. And then he says, reason? Because I did not know that my wife was water baptized. And she didn't tell me because she thought that I'm going to make trouble for the pastors. Well, that's exactly what I tried to do. I was so upset that I wrote the National Councils of Churches of Singapore, and I wrote the church looking for justice. I even copied my email to the Ministry of Community Services, Youth and Sport. And he writes here to a particular council here saying that my wife was baptized without telling me recently. And you have to understand, this man is of an Eastern religion. He is not Christian. And he's upset because his wife has converted to Christianity, and as an evidence of her conversion to Christianity and surrendering her life to the Lordship of Jesus Christ, she is baptized in water. And he's terribly upset over this. This has brought derision in his home. And he said, I am concerned that the pastor who baptized my wife did not have informed me either. He says, why should it not be the responsibility of the church to at least inform the next of kin of the intention prior to conducting such a ceremony? My belief today serves me well unto the baptism. And he says, now I find it very difficult to live with my wife because she is now a Christian. And I believe that the church has failed its duty and responsibility by keeping quiet, not even a courtesy call to the next of kin. She hadn't been murdered. And they've sent me some other emails of some other authorities there that this man tried to appeal to over being disgusted over the fact that his wife had been converted and water baptized, and he was not even informed, as though he was going to do that with her, that she could do that with his blessing. And then he writes and said, I would appreciate very much to the church here if you could arrange an appointment for me to meet the pastors. He said, I'm currently preparing a divorce, and I wish to seek the church assistance. And so he said here in another part of his testimony that after the written complaints led to nowhere, in early of June 2010, I asked my sons to accompany me to the particular church there where I was ministering, and the primary purpose was to discredit the church. And after the first service, I had to come back because I couldn't find anything negative about the church. He said, I couldn't believe that I was in a church service. He said, they taught the young people to honor their parents, and he said, that impressed me. He said, there were only a few quotes from the Bible and no mention of money contribution. He said, so I couldn't believe I was in a church service. And he said, at the end of the service, all I had were praises, and I had nothing bad to record. Although I wasn't a Christian, I was happy with the church, and I wrote an email to apologize. And he goes on to say, what really touches me is that this church provides excellent teaching and guidance for the youth. He says, a dream of all parents. And he said, I feel relieved that my children are in this church. And he goes on to say that despite liking the church, I did not immediately become a Christian. I came for 6 months without being a Christian, and there were many times that I wanted to accept, but I didn't have the courage to do so. My courage to accept Christ came on the 5th of December of 2010 at Bishop Dale Bronner's Sunday service.